Hi good lifers, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be talking about some medicinal plants that are really easy to grow and really easy to find in the UK, and the ones that I'm going to be specifically picking to put into our medicinal garden for this year. So if that's something you would like to watch, please come and join us. So I'm sitting here at my allotment today. It is an absolutely glorious day. It's really proper sunshiny. We've had some kind of stormy weather in the last few weeks or so, but it seems like it's brightening up a little bit more now, which is lovely. I got to apologise for not putting out videos as regularly as I promised. It's been a bit of a busy week, what with the whole wedding thing, and there's been some family things going on as well. So hoping to be a little bit more regular with it this time. But if there's anything you do want us to put a little video out about, drop it in the comments below. We would really like to hear your suggestions. So I'm going to be talking about some medicinal plants that I'm going to be putting in my garden at home. I am going to be putting some herbs and flowers in our allotment here. As you can see us right behind me there, we've got our wildflower pond, and this bit is all very overgrown, but we're kind of leaving it to be a bit of a wildflower meadow this year so that we can do things with it next year. But for our garden at home, which is quite small, it's never produced a lot of veg. Now this could be purely because we're quite new to this idea and we're not as good at it as we were hoping, but also I think that it's probably not the best place to grow vegetables. It's quite shaded, it's very small, and the soil's not great despite my best intentions. But what I thought I might do this year is actually turn it over to a bit of a herb garden. We use quite a lot of herbs in cooking. We obviously use herbs in our medicines as well. We're very into herbal medicine and plant medicine. We want to try and use more herbal medicine and plant medicine as much as possible, rather than relying on pharmaceuticals. I think that's better for everyone personally, but we're not doctors by any stretch of the imagination, so you do you, it's up to you. We don't mind. So I thought I'd just do a video today about 6 medicinal plants that we're going to be definitely including in our herbal medicine section. So while most of these are actually herbs, we've got some that are actually flowers. So flowers can be medicinal as well. It just depends on which ones you pick and what you're picking them for. So I thought I'd take them through for you now. So the 6 that we're going to be talking about are chamomile, fennel, peppermint, calendula, rosemary and lemon balm. There are 3 annuals and 3 perennials. So perennials are things that come back every year. Annuals are things that you have to actually plant every year. So we're going to be having a quick look at them and then what they do and how we're going to plant them. So the first one we're going to be looking at is lemon balm. Lemon balm's a really nice fragrant herb. Obviously it smells a bit lemony, which is where it gets the name from, but it's actually in the mint family. So if you are going to plant lemon balm, the same applies with mint, is keep it in a pot. If you're going to plant it in the ground, pop it in the pot in the ground, or just plant it in a pot and let it grow on its own. So lemon balm is known as a bit of a relaxant. It's really aromatic and it does make you feel slightly more relaxed when you smell it and when you're using it around your house. We use it for things like coughs and colds. It's quite good for that. It's quite nice to include in things. It's also really good for the digestive system, so if you've got a bit of a tummy ache, a nice lemon balm tea can be really nice as well. It's actually a bit of an all-round plant, and we also use it as part of some of our healing balms if we've got it growing, for things like bites and stings and bruises. Lemon balm's pretty good for that. I've currently got a bite on my leg and I'm going to go and find some lemon balm and rub it on in a second. So the next plant we're going to talk about is fennel. Fennel is a vegetable. You can eat it, you can add it to your salads. It's really strongly flavoured, so you probably don't want to add too much of it to your salads, but it's actually really nice to eat. What we're going to be using medicinally is the fennel seeds normally. So fennel is actually an anti-inflammatory and it's an antibacterial, so it's really good as a kind of a general first aid one to use as well. Again, it's also really good for upset tummies. If you've got something like a mild food poisoning that obviously doesn't need treating by an actual doctor, we make a really good tea using fennel, chamomile and mint, and it's not the world's greatest tasting tea unless it's the kind of thing you like, but I'll tell you what, it settles a dodgy tummy really nicely. Fennel is also known to be pretty good for mental health as well. It's another relaxant, helps to calm anxiety a little bit as well. So if you're having a bit of a mental health episode and it's a kind of mild one, you need something to help you relax a little bit, give a little bit of fennel tea a try. The third one we're going to be looking at is mint. Mint has so many good uses, but most people know it for its main use, which is as a digestive helper. And the reason mint is so good at helping digestive problems is that it's actually an antispasmodic for the digestive system, the GI tract. So what happens if you've got a really bad tummy ache and you have a little bit of mint, it can actually help stop your stomach doing spasms and settle that down to help your stomach relax a little bit. So we always keep a little bit of mint on hand. That menthol is really good. It's also really good if you want to use it as a steam, if you're trying to clear your sinuses, if you've got a cold. Mint is a great one for that. Next plant we're going to be talking about is chamomile. Chamomile is a great plant to have. There's all sorts of different types of chamomile. Normally we pick between Roman chamomile and German chamomile. The most popular one is probably Roman chamomile, but German chamomile is actually a little bit stronger. So if you wanted to use it more medicinally than anything else, you might want to head towards the German one. But they both do the same thing. So anyone that knows anything about chamomile it's good for calming the adrenal system. It's really good for sleep and for relaxation as a bit of an anti-anxiety. And because it's good for relaxation, that's why I include it in my tummy remedy tea when I take that if I've got a tummy ache. We put a little bit of chamomile in that because that helps to calm in. So we've got the mint, which is the antispasmodic for the stomach, and the chamomile just helps to calm things down a little bit. What a lot of people don't realise with chamomile as well is actually anti-inflammatory, antibacterial and antifungal. So it's a really great all-rounder. I only found out about those three recently actually, so I think next time that I make some of my healing balm, which you can see up there, I will definitely be including it in the salve, because that's a really great thing to be including to help you out for your first aid balms. And just as an added bonus for chamomile, it's actually really good for hay fever as well. And for people like me who suffer with hay fever, you know, people who love being outside but the outside doesn't love them quite as much, anything that can help hay fever relief, I'm always looking for that. So chamomile is definitely something we're going to be including. Chamomile's an annual, so it's going to need to be replanted every year, but it's definitely something that's on my list. Another annual on my list that I'm going to be planting is Calendula. Calendula is a flower, much like chamomile is, and it's actually really beautiful. It's a lovely orange flower. It's also known as pot marigold as well, so you might see it known as that. The bees and the bugs absolutely love Calendula, so I always plant some anyway, just to help the little pollinators out as well. So the reason I'm really excited about planting Calendula is that Calendula is an amazingly medicinal plant. It is antimicrobial, it is antifungal, it is antibacterial, and it is anti-inflammatory. It's pretty much anti-everything, which is really good. That's exactly what you need for a good all-round first aid plant. This is something I'm definitely going to be keeping in my medicine cabinet, and I try and make sure that I have Calendula in loads of different forms. So I've got dried and powdered calendula, I have calendula oil, and I've got calendula tincture, so I've got a bit of everything just in case. Calendula is known to be really good for the gut again, so if you've got some tummy problems, have a little bit of calendula in there. And for us ladies, it's also really good for cramping at that time of the month as well, so always include a little bit of calendula in your medicine cabinet, and I'm definitely going to be growing it in my garden this year. And the last one on my list is a perennial, so this one comes back every single year, and it is rosemary. I've not been traditionally very good at growing rosemary. Every time I try and grow it, it tends to die. So I'm going to be working really hard to make sure I keep my rosemary alive this year. But rosemary is an absolutely excellent herb to grow. It's great in cooking as well, you know, lamb, beef, chicken, everything likes a bit of rosemary. But what people don't always realise is as well that it's also really, really good for congestion. So if you've got a cold or if you're just a bit congested, rosemary is something that can work really well for you. It's very anti-inflammatory, which means it works on those mucous membranes. It helps to bring the inflammation down and helps to clear things out. If you have a cold where you've got a bit of a chesty thing going on, you can use rosemary and mint together in a steam bath, breathe in the steam, and hopefully it will help relax things down a little bit and hopefully take that congestion down a bit. So this is why I love to have rosemary in my garden. So that was 6 of my favourite medicinal plants that I'm going to be making sure that I include in my garden this year. We're going to be including lots and lots of medicinal herbs, plants and flowers, both here at the allotment and at home where we're going to be having our main herb garden. We've really enjoyed having you along with us. If you've enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit like and possibly give us a subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.